Sarasota Tim and Grant Cardone have something in common regarding taking Social Security early. Today, I read an interesting article on Yahoo Finance, put out by Benzinga and written by Kaylee Kilpack, titled, "Grab the Money While You Can, Grant Cardone's Unconventional Advice for Those Eligible for Social Security." As many of you know, Sarasota Tim is an advocate of taking Social Security early because that is what he did. Apparently, Grant Cardone feels the same way. According to the author of this article, Grant Cardone advises people to start claiming Social Security benefits as soon as they are eligible, which is currently 62. He said, and I'll quote, "If you're above 60, grab as much money as you can from the federal government." Here are my thoughts. I've watched several videos put out by Grant Cardone. He is quite the success story. At one time, he was addicted to drugs, and he once got fired from a car dealership job he had. But he went on to fame and fortune, selling training packages to car dealerships and other businesses. And he also built a real estate empire. He even drove a Toyota Camry like me at one point in his life. Now, I don't agree with his advice regarding taking Social Security early for the same reason I don't agree with Sarasota Tim's advice. Everyone's financial situation is unique. Here's an example of when taking Social Security might not be a good idea. If someone has a family history where people live well into old age, I'm talking into their late 90s, and this person is still healthy and enjoys working, but has no money saved for retirement and is a renter and has a car payment and still has a student loan payment, I think it would be a terrible idea to take Social Security early. The modest amount of money that Social Security would provide would likely not be enough to cover life expenses, especially if rent continues to get more expensive like it has in the past few years. In many cases, rent has increased faster than the small cost of living adjustments provided by Social Security. Now, I'm not giving anyone advice, but if I were in a situation like I just described, I would continue working the job I enjoy and take delayed Social Security because I would want the largest check for life to help me cover my debt obligations and cover my rent. Fortunately, I'm not in this type of situation, but countless Americans are. Blanket advice to everyone to take Social Security early is not good advice in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube with a gong. Getting back to the article, the author shared some information that I think is important to pay attention to. The author said, it's important to consider personal circumstances and consult with a financial advisor before deciding on Social Security benefits. I'll add to that. I think it is important to consult a qualified and trusted financial advisor in good standing that puts your interests first and foremost. I read some of the comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "I have been retired for 14 years. Take it as soon as you are eligible for full benefits. 80% of my former coworkers and friends never saw age 70. That's why the government is willing to entice you to wait until age 70 with more money. And even if you do reach 70, how much longer are you willing to bet you are going to live? Most of my remaining friends and coworkers that lived past 70 never saw 74. They all could have collected money from age 64 on. Nobody promised you tomorrow." The next commenter said, "I'm 67 and I started collecting the money at 62. I did the math and what I found was that I wouldn't hit the break-even amount until 82. So if you think you're going to make it past 82, you could wait. But I'm betting that the reason the government recommends waiting is because statistically, the average lifespan in the USA is 77 and a half years. Do the math yourself if you are weighing what's best for you. Another commenter said, "What are the odds that anyone taking early Social Security will invest the money into the equities market? You need to make 8% per year just to keep up with the actuarial gains built into the system. You won't do that with cash or bonds, and hope there is not a downturn in the market during that period. Some things are better left without optimization." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, "Take it as early as possible. You could pass away a day before you hit full retirement age, and the government will cheerfully pocket the money you worked hard for all your life." Well, my friends, these commenters always have uniquely different ideas regarding Social Security. In the end, it is a very personal decision and not one to be taken lightly. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Here's another interesting story. I read this on CNBC.com, written by Kevin Breuninger, titled, "Trump Inauguration to be Moved Indoors Due to Extreme Cold." Apparently, there is an Arctic blast sweeping the country, and Donald Trump doesn't want to see people hurt or injured. The inauguration address and other speeches will be happening inside the Capitol. The last time an inauguration was held indoors was in 1985, when President Ronald Reagan was sworn in for his second term because of cold temperatures. Here are my thoughts. I think it is probably a safer option for Donald Trump. I'm not a security expert, but I think being indoors could be a more controlled environment, especially after the last assassination attempts that occurred outdoors. Those were bad actors from here in America who were not professionals. Donald Trump may have made some enemies around the world recently with some of his future plans that he's made public. I'd hate to think about an attempt orchestrated by a foreign power with highly trained assets. I'm glad that the inauguration is being moved indoors for this reason. I think it will be a safer venue. I'd hate to think of any harm coming to Donald Trump. He has a big family and a lot of people that care about him. Let's hope everything goes smoothly on Inauguration Day. With all of the military personnel deployed to the nation's capital, I think they have it covered. I went to see Ronald Reagan back in the 1980s. The security back then was intense. He was speaking outside of a large high school. They had school buses lined up around the entire grounds like barricades. They had 2 military helicopters on the football field. They had metal detectors that you had to pass through to get onto the grounds. There were police everywhere. It was really unlike anything that I had experienced in my life until that point. I'm sure the security at Donald Trump's inauguration will be even better. What do you think about Donald Trump's inauguration moving indoors? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.